Welcome back. Our second guest for tonight is Anne Aulsebrook, a PhD student at Melbourne University studying sleep behaviour in animals. Anne, are you with us?
Yep, I'm here.
Thanks so much for joining us, Anne. Now, you've been watching animals as they sleep. That sounds pretty creepy, but I'm sure you have a very good reason for it.
Yeah, so we're interested in what we can learn about sleep from studying animals that basically aren't lab rats and that aren't humans.
So you've been learning about sleep. What can we apply from animals to our own lives?
Okay, so an example that I really like is that one study looked at ducks sleeping in a row, and they found that the ducks on the end of the row spent more time sleeping in this particular kind of sleep where they can sleep with one half of their brain at a time, if that makes sense. So they've got one eye open and the other half of their brain's sleeping. So
I suspect that many of our politicians are always like that.
Gripping their pillows tight.
So the duck example, so ducks sleeping more with one half of their brain than the other. They found that they do that more when they're sleeping on the row rather than in the middle of the row. And so this is thought to be an anti-predatory response, and so the ducks can actually respond more quickly when they're in this particular type of sleep than when they're sleeping fully. And some research, recent research with humans has found that that first night effect, they call it, when you're sleeping in a hospital and you don't sleep as well as you usually would, is actually a vaguely similar thing in the sense that one half of your brain is sleeping more deeply than the other, and that allows you to respond more quickly to this scary, unfamiliar environment.
So we shouldn't sleep with one eye open, we should sleep with half of a brain open.
Yeah, maybe.
And tell us about sloths, because they're the most, they're the sleepiest of the animals, are they not?
They're so sleepy.
Well, sort of, but not really. So one of the first studies to study sleep in a wild animal, well, the first study, studied wild sloths, and they found that sloths aren't actually as slothful as we thought. So wild sloths sleep only about 10 hours a day, whereas captive sloths sleep up to 16 hours a day. So clearly the environment is pretty important in how animals sleep. And with sloths too, it's tricky because, I mean, what they do is they sit in a tree and try to look as much like a tree as possible, or a bit of a tree. And so they're very good at looking like they're sleeping when they're actually awake.
Tree beard.
And do you have a favourite animal that you might say to yourself, if I could sleep like any other animal, I would sleep like that kind of sleep?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Was it?
I'd have to go with, so pectoral sandpipers can actually sleep very little. So during the breeding season, the males can get by, it seems, with just about 2 hours of sleep a night. And the males that sleep the least actually seem to have the best breeding success. So they're the ones who are able to meet the most ladies.
As well, actually.
That sounds like my kind of animal. I like that animal too.
And thanks so much for joining us tonight.
No problem. Thanks for having me.